everyone, welcome to our special video here on a little E3 gem.
Hell yeah, bro.
Known as For Honor. Now, Alex, why don't you take it away? I feel like
oh man, okay, so maybe you guys
set us up the stage as well as the bomb.
Yeah, maybe you guys remember Jason Vandenberg from the Ubisoft conference came out and just like sold the shit out of this game. Like it was so cool.
He made me ready to go to battle.
Yeah. So we watched the trailer. Because we didn't know before we were going into this what we were gonna be doing.
Yeah, we knew that you know, this isn't really a paid advertisement. We worked with Ubisoft in seeing this, and they gave us exclusive on-time play with this game. And we didn't know what the game was. The game was not announced.
Yeah, so we're sitting here watching we're sitting here watching the Ubisoft conference like, oh my god, is this it? Is this the one? Because the dude's like selling it. It's like awesome. It's like basically what the game is. It did turn out to be For Honor. Basically what it is it's kind of MOBA-y, kind of chivalry-y, and it's like this sort of like points-based, like capturing points, and then you like get points by capturing the points. And then when you hit a certain amount of points, you can like finally like wipe out the other team for good. It's really awesome.
So For Honor consists of 3 classes. You have the Vikings, you have the Samurais, and you have the Knights.
Yeah, I don't really know how it's gonna work within each like race, if you will. But it's definitely gonna be Knights, Samurais, and Vikings just kicking each other's asses, which is really, really cool.
So we, at this closed demo performance, we got to play as the Knights and only the Knights.
Yeah, it was a very early build. That's why we don't have any captured footage for it this time like we did with Far Cry, because the game is much earlier in development. But it was really stable. It looks really good. The customization is really fun. And yo, the combat system is tight.
So, one thing we noticed right away when we started playing is that you can choose between male and female. So diversity, yay! Burp. So that's great. You also you get a huge selection of different outfits per class. So I think I counted 8 to 12.
Yeah, per
sex and class.
Yeah, and
which was pretty fantastic.
I don't know what the vibe is with that, but apparently like the dev was telling me like these are like the ones that we like made like for this.
Yeah, they all I guess all the devs working on the game got to submit their own design patterns for the outfits, and they took the lead devs took the ones they thought were the most creative and the ones they liked the most, and actually put into the game. So it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, granted, that's not the finalized way it's going to happen, but you will be able to customize your knight. Really cool stuff. But that combat system, real quick. So in an FPS, right, like, you know the difference between like hip firing a weapon and like iron sighting, right? Like basically, if you hold L2, you're iron sighting, and if you don't, you're hip firing, right?
Yeah.
So in For Honor, there's a similar system to that, except it's with a big ass sword. So like when you hit L2, like you can swing, there's light and heavy swing, and you can do either, and there's like cool combos that you can do. They were on the little card in front of us. I was trying to pull them off.
L2 is lock on / take a stance. So you take a stance, and in the stance you use the right analog stick to dictate.
You walk slower. It's more like you're ready, and you automatically defend any attacks against you.
It turned a little bit into rock paper scissors, because you'll have to have the direction of the weapon you're holding in your right hand be in the direction you're being attacked.
Yeah, so like basically like if you think the attack's coming from above, or you know that they like to attack from above, you can just hold your sword up, and if they swing at you, you won't get hit. So they're trying to hit you in one of the places where you're not blocking. And then you can also like body check to kind of like screw with them, like, you know,
you can stun them and knock them back.
Yeah, and it's really fun. Like it takes a couple hits. You can like string the hits together however you want to string them, and you can kind of like, they also have like, not related to the lock on, you can like either like dodge or roll. The dodge is like a quick dodge, and the roll is like a bigger roll, kind of like almost like The Witcher or something. Really cool things. And then like you can get around the other side of guys, and because like when you're fighting, like the trade-off is that you have to block. I mean, you have to lock on if you want to block.
That is a huge trade-off, because you'll be wanting to run into combat and swing your sword as fast as you can, and you cannot do that.
Yeah.
You have to take your time, run, lock on, and then engage. And there are moments of you can run and swing at the same time and do some great damage, but you don't really have a lock-on system. You just kind of have to really, you know, prove with your skill you're gonna hit that finishing blow.
So it's cool because it's 4v4, and basically it's like there's 3 capture points. You capture the point as many times as you can till you get 1,000 points. Once you hit 1,000 points, it's time to like kill the other team for good. But like me and Jirard were like rolling together because the other 2 guys on our team spoke German.
Yeah, we had a hard time understanding them, but Alex and I luckily. Dude, we stuck together most of the time.
Jirard played twice, I played once because somebody more important than me came and took my spot the first time. But it was really fun because I got the most kills the time that I played because me and Jirard were kind of like decide, because we were right next to each other, so it'd be like, okay, like I'm locked onto this guy, so that means like we're fighting, so he's locked onto me too. So now you like go around him and like kick his ass while we're fighting, and so we were kind of like poaching each other's kills and rolling around, and we crushed it. It was really cool.
It was a great system to work together. To there's just so many moments where I'm about to die, and you just see Alex's sword come swinging down, stab the guy, and then suddenly go into execution mode. Now, if you end someone's life with, I think it's a light attack, you get to decide their execution with square or X. And if it's X, you do a light finisher. If it's square, you do a full-on blow. Like
I think it was triangle and square.
Triangle and square. Yeah. Either way, it ends with a very brutal animation.
You either like swing your sword upside down with the hilt like an axe, or you cut their head off, and it's really like satisfying. And that's the thing I wanted to talk about that I didn't want to forget about, was that like the feel of the game. Like, you know, Dark Souls does this really well, where you're like, rah, rah, you know, like where you're just kind of like a heavy dude who like you jump to the side and you're like, ugh, like it's really heavy. And this game definitely like has that feeling, but it lets you be more
mobile,
like reactive.
Mobile. Yeah, you definitely feel that you are in control, regardless of how heavy your armor is, which is what I loved, because that's some games when you get that heavy armor feel, you don't have the flexibility and the mobility that you want. But you still have that cool, like, I'm in like a suit and I'm like, oh, you know, like you still get that feel, but like you can be in a situation where somebody's swinging at you and you can all of a sudden like turn the tide and come back and grab them. So that's a really cool thing. And you know, we didn't really have a chance to capture anything or really show you much of what we did, but I do want to say that it was legitimately like a super fun time. It was so fun. I think I wanted to play again, but we had to leave. what sold for me For Honor and the combat system they built was the end game content the end round content, where once you hit 1,000, that's when the permadeath is turned on. I love that aspect, because it's one thing to get defeated, right, in a game. You lose based on points, the game is over. This one says
you have to die. You have to die,
which means you can fight your way out of the situation you're in.
Yeah,
and that very much did happen.
So cool. Yeah, like you get way more points if you're able to be perma-killed.
Yeah, and if you fight, and that's the thing, you have 3 points. Each team has their own defensive point that's near their base, and then in the center is a kind of wave.
It has like mobs in it
of creeps. So like a MOBA, you'll need to thin out the herd, if you will, in that center point A area, and then point B and C are dependent on your location.
Those guys are fun to kill in the middle too, because they're not player characters, so you don't really need to block, and you just kind of like roll around and you could kill like 25 dudes in like 6 seconds. It's really fun. I'm really excited about the game. I'm really like, this is a game I could see like us just like chilling out and playing for a few hours every once in a while.
Yeah, it was oddly therapeutic for how chaotic it was.
Yeah, it was really like a cool thing. It was not, I never felt the urge to like yell at my teammates.
Yeah, everything felt very responsible.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It felt like it was your fault if you had got killed.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
So if you click the links right here on the screen or go into the description below, you can go ahead and register to win a free console of your choice, skimmed, just like the whole things for Honor.
It's like a For Honor console. I saw it. It looks really cool.
It looks pretty sick.
So I don't know, like if you're hyped for stuff like this, if you like chivalry, if you like looking for a MOBA that like maybe isn't so like complicated.
The reason why this kills it is because it doesn't feel, you can see the inspirations from other games, but there's nothing quite like it.
Yeah, shout out to Vandenberg and his freaking hype attitude. Literally, this is just a game where you get to like sword fight with buds.
Yeah, and I can't wait to get hands-on with the Vikings and the Samurais, because reminder, we only got to play as the Knights, so it'd be really fascinating to see how the Vikings handle
I'm dying to play as a samurai.
Yeah, I mean, you and I basically are Vikings, except we're much lazier. Now, we weren't paid to necessarily play the game, but we were paid to promote this website. So if you want to get a chance to possibly win a themed console on For Honor, click the link in the description below or the annotation right here, whichever floats your boat.
All right. Well, that's our coverage of For Honor. You know, thanks to Ubisoft for letting us play that cool game. And we were at the top of the US Bank building, which was really neat.
Also, we did a bunch of fun E3 things. So if you want... Now, here's the thing, right? We don't have gameplay footage for any of this. These are more like podcast discussions. If you guys want to talk about more of our E3 experience, we'd be willing to do that. Yeah. Let us know.
We played Cuphead. We did a bunch of Morpheus stuff.
Yeah, I would love to talk about it. Yeah, it was great. If you guys want more of that stuff, tweet at Alex and I. And once again, thank you to Ubisoft for all the support they gave us for this video.
Let us know. Click the link. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, guys.
Later, man.
Later, man.